Welcome to the Park County Quality Assurance, Part 1, Assuring Quality. Well, what is this quality assurance that we're talking about? Well, the quality part is, are the products good to eat? Are they safe? Do they taste good? Are they tender? And the assurance part is a pledge or a promise, and that promise is to our consumers. And what we're saying in the promise is that the food from our livestock will be the highest possible quality and we'll do everything we can to make them safe to eat. Well, why? Why are we doing this? First of all, it improves the food quality that we're producing. It improves our care and management of the animals. We can avoid drug residues. And we can also increase the product value of our animals that we're producing. In other states, certain packing plants require that their producers go through a similar quality assurance program, similar in that we talk about many of the same things, but it's also much more rigorous because they're running a higher volume of meat through their plant. But they also want to make sure that these producers understand the same things about quality that we're here to talk about today. So it's not just you that we're making do this. It's a requirement that's nationwide for many producers. Well, why are we doing this now? Was there a problem? There were injection site lesions, and they were common. We'll talk about what injection site lesions are, what they look like here in a few. There were drug residues. We'll also talk about what those are. Sometimes they even found broken needles in meat. And then there was bruised carcasses and poor meat quality overall due to poor handling and poor care of the animals. Here's where we're talking about what an injection site lesion is. Here you see some hard calloused meat, and that's from improperly injecting the animal, as well as you see this white part that goes all the way down the meat. It doesn't look like a huge problem, but if you consider that this could have gone through the entire carcass, you can ruin up to half a carcass just from not properly injecting the animal. Well, what about today? Since they've introduced these types of programs in the last 15 to 20 years, they've found that they've had lower residue levels, they've had less injection site lesions, and the animal handling overall has greatly improved. That's awesome, right? Well, we want to still make food safety a priority because it's important to our consumers. When our parents go to the grocery store, or when anyone goes to the grocery store, they bring home those products, especially those animal products, assuming that they're safe and healthy to eat. Through implementing quality assurance, this way we can tell our consumers that meat and milk are safe and that you as a producer care about food safety. Well, who should be responsible? Everybody involved in the process of an animal, from gate to plate or farm to fork, should be involved in the process. So when we talk about gate, we're talking about the animal in the pasture. You see the picture down here at the bottom. To plate means through the whole entire process of processing the animal till you get to where it's being consumed. Okay? So we start with the producer, then we move on to the packer, the retailer, food service like the grocery store, and finally the consumer. Well, who actually is responsible for quality assurance? And that's what we just talked about. Everyone is involved in food production. So we have our producers, our grocery stores and restaurants, or the packing plants, and consumers. Here's another picture of that food supply continuum, starting with the producer, and we move through all of these entities that are in charge of making sure that that food stays healthy. Well, where are you? You as a livestock producer are right here at the beginning. So if we don't ensure it from the beginning, then it doesn't translate and it won't be healthy at the end. So it's important that we start with you. We expect youth producers to understand that these consumers have a right to expect what they're eating is safe and healthy, and that every producer, regardless of your size or your age, has a responsibility to meet this expectation and work to keep their animal healthy and safe. Also, every producer and the 4-H program are affected when there's negative publicity. If at the livestock sale a buyer gets a bad product, then they might not come back the next year, and this could translate into lower prices, especially if maybe that buyer is a high volume buyer and they buy lots of animals. Then this could really negatively affect the whole entire 4-H program, as well as just think about if you become a producer later on, how if one producer is careless, then it can really hurt the industry, or how that is foreseen. Like if you've ever heard of the mad cow outbreaks and things like that, that really negatively affects everyone. So this quality assurance are beneficials to you, to the animals, and to the consumers, or the people who are going to eat or consume the animal eventually. Okay, so what we expect your role to be is this daily care and management, prevention of things happening, handling, carcass quality, and medication. And today we're only going to talk about the first two because there's just so much to talk about. All right, please complete the Caring for Your Animal worksheet at this time.